The Connors blood doesn't just run thick through our friends, but also my family is very involved with Connors and loyal to Connors as well.
You meet people when you're 18, 19 years old here at Connors, and you just think you're having fun and hanging out, and you are having the funnest time you'll ever have in your life. But in 8 or 10 years, you realize, kind of what that actually even sets you up for. Like I touched on earlier, just taking that one course here that night, it changed the whole trajectory of my life.
Well, we'll get started. My name's Jake Lawson. I'm a Connors alumni and instructor and have been employed here for a while. Get the chance to do the interview, and if you guys don't mind introducing yourselves and then what year you were here.
Hi, I'm Zadie Stamper. I started here at Connors in 2014 and graduated in 2016.
I'm Sam Stamper. I landed here in 2015, just here for a year, and graduated there in 2016 as well.
So I was on the rodeo team and a part of the presidential leadership class during my 2 years here at Connors. So Coach Lawson was actually my rodeo coach during that time. So we got to spend a lot of time together. But then I also did work study in the communications department while here at Connors under Stacy Pierce and John Dallas. So I got to attend lots of events and take pictures and videos, and I sure had a good time with it all.
You bet. I was also on the rodeo team, and me and Zadie was actually dating at the time, so I was actually along for a lot of that stuff that she explained there as well. But I took general studies while I was here, and really set me up for. We went on to Stillwater to follow here, and so it was really a good spot to be, and learned a lot here, and a lot of good people that we met at Connors here.
I didn't tell my studies, I guess. So working in the communications department, it kind of got me to really enjoying the communications aspect of it, and so I went on to Stillwater to major in ag communications. So that's what I studied, and while I was here, I got my associates in general courses, but working under Stacy and John, it really set me up for all that I needed to study ag communications at Stillwater.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty convinced that we tried to recruit Sam straight out of high school and didn't get it done, and then we finally got it done that next year. I'm pretty convinced Zadie might have had a big play in getting.
I didn't know it, but maybe I was working in the recruitment department as well.
There you go. Well, and just question for you, Zadie. You actually came back and worked for us for a little while right after you graduated.
I did. So I enjoyed Connors so much that when you guys got rid of me as a student, as soon as I graduated from Stillwater, I applied here in the communications department. Just so happened that the guy I worked under, John Dallas, was leaving, and so he kind of coached me through, what all I needed to do to apply, and set me up for that. So I came back here and I worked here for, I think it was about 8 or 9 months, and I really did enjoy it, but my heart had always kind of been set on teaching, and I just never followed through with it. And after working here for a little while, I just knew that there was somewhere else that I needed to be for a little bit, and so I went and I taught at Warner for, I guess, the last 3 years now. I was in 3rd grade there up until this year when I had my second baby and couldn't really go. 2 babies. Sam couldn't handle daddy daycare.
So introduce the kids.
Okay, so we have 2 daughters. Wynn, she's 2.5, and then Emerson, and she is 7 months. So like I said, Sam watched Wynn the first 2 years of her life. She got to feed cows and hang out in the feed truck. And we also run Checotah Livestock Market in Checotah here. This is our, I guess, 5.5 years now we've been there, and so she was the assistant barn manager, I guess maybe is what you'd call it, and then May of this year we had Emerson, so I didn't go back to teaching at Warner, but I run the office there at the cell barn and then take care of our girls. So
That's good. So what you really mean to say, she was the manager, Dad just did all the work.
Pretty much, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
Dad just did all the
I
work.
didn't
The
know.
boss, I know that.
I don't know if I was helping him by quitting to take care of her, or helping her out, because she's pretty ornery after hanging out with Dad for 2 years.
It's good stuff. Hey, well, just from one dad to the next, that's time that you'll always cherish
Oh, yeah.
and forever. So good for both of you for making those decisions. You kind of led us to it, but fill in the blanks on time you graduated. You went to Oklahoma State, but then
Yeah.
fill in the blanks with where you're at and what you're doing now, because there's some good stuff there.
Yeah. You know, like I said, a lot of it started actually right here at Connors. I don't know if you know this or not, but there was a night course set up here for auctioneering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you remember who taught that class?
Ira Jackson.
Ira Jackson. And, you know, I just took it just because I thought it'd be a fun class, you know, and end up enrolling. And after the first night, I was kind of hooked, you know, and I really had never even thought about it before even having the ability to be an auctioneer. And anyway, we go through the course. I don't even remember how long the course was. It was a short course, I know, but at the end of that, I can remember thinking, you know, that's something I think I can do. You know, I think I could maybe make a living at that. Well, and like I said, even at that point, I had no idea what it was going to turn into, and it's kind of amazing what you even here at Connors, what you find, or the people you meet, or the things you do that is going to affect you for the rest of your life, whether it's good or bad. You know, and in this case, it was good, obviously. But anyway, we graduated from here, went on to Stillwater, and I worked my way through school there, building pipe fence and buildings, and had a lot of fun there too. But we did work our way through schools, and Zadie was through school, and Zadie helped me with a lot of that too. She was a pretty good welder's helper on a few jobs. But anyway, we graduated from there, and I kind of continued that welding and building buildings and things like that, and kind of had the opportunity to help at the old Mulkey sale barn. It was the first job I ever had auctioneering. I kind of helped. That boy was a really good friend of mine growing up, and he bought that barn there, and I was able to help him with it. And we was there for probably a year or so, and somebody you might know, Clark Victory, ropes a lot. He calls me out of the blue one day and says, "Hey, I think I've got an opportunity for you." He said, "I've got a good friend that's got the Checotah sale barn over there, and he's ready to do something different." And so he sent me his number, and I called him. Jim Bob Cross is who it was, and we actually made the deal to lease the barn off of him. And that's kind of where it started. That was I think our first sale was September
2019.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, the year after we graduated.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of just evolved from there. And you know, I think we started first sale or two we had. I think we had 200 or 300 head, and we're averaging right at 1,000 now. So it's definitely been a process, and it's growing, and it's been good, but comes with growing pains too. But we're kind of taking that all in as we go as well. So
it's pretty funny though. I know we talked about people that we still talk to at Connors, and two of the people that work in the office are both graduates of Connors College. One was a cheerleader here, and then the other one, he was an ag major, Dalton Marcus, and I think he did work study here as well. And then I don't know if you even look through the employees in the back, a lot of them, I mean, we've all been through Connors, so we all get to share similar stories and talk about our experiences here. We actually, last we had, I think we probably had 4 or 5 Connors students now that we were able to recruit to come help us, and so we that Connors blood runs thick through our cell barn as well. So
that's good. Well, you brought that up. Let's talk about, is there somebody from you guys' time that you still stay in contact with? Did you make some connections? You know, any stories related to that?
Yeah. Well, talking about like Connors blood running thick. So my grandpa, he turns 95 tomorrow. He is a Connors graduate. And so he actually, I think he come back here and taught for just a little bit as well. And then my uncles, I think they stayed a lot longer than the 2 years they were supposed to because they loved it so much. So my uncles went to school here, and then my mom is a graduate from Connors, and then I had two brothers. One 6 years older than me. He was on the rodeo team under you, I'm sorry. And then my younger brother Tiger went to school here as well. So the Connors blood doesn't just run thick through our friends, but also my family is very involved with Connors and loyal to Connors as well. Yeah. So, but we do have quite a few friends that we still stay in contact with. Actually, my best friend, Britton Wallace, we got paired up just by accident here because of PLC and because of rodeo, and still to this day we talk almost every single week. So yeah, awesome. we've stayed really close to the majority of our friends from Connors. So.
Say anything, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I said earlier, you know, you meet people when you're 18, 19 years old here at Connors, and you just think you're having fun and hanging out, and you are having the funnest time you'll ever have in your life. But in 8 or 10 years, you realize, you know, kind of what that actually even sets you up for. Like I touched on earlier, just taking that one course here that night, you know, it changed the whole trajectory of my life. And at that time, I didn't have a clue, you know, and so I think kids, I hope they realize, and I hope they know how much fun they're having, but at the same time, how much they're setting themselves up for their future. Yeah. And that's something that I personally did not realize until I was graduated and gone, you know, but all that stuff comes back, you know, and we're still, even if it's something I wasn't close to in college, a lot of those guys that I met and got acquainted with, and, you know, I do a lot of business with a lot of those guys too, you know, and we got that in common to bring us back together and allow us to do business and kind of be familiar with each other too. Yeah. Talking
about staying close to people too, so we were on the rodeo team, so obviously we were close to the rodeo kids, but yesterday we got a card in the mail from a couple of judgers during our time. So a Christmas card with pictures of their kids. I mean, we, you know, got close with everybody here. It wasn't just the rodeo team. Connors is such a small, close-knit, like, family. I mean, we truly were sad to go here. And I heard Sam tell somebody the other day, he said, you know, we loved Stillwater. We really, truly did. But it wasn't the same as Connors, as in this was our family, and it truly pained us to leave.
Yeah, we had more fun right here at Connors State College than we did in Stillwater, you know, and we had a lot of fun there too. It's a great place up there, and I'm glad we went, and it was the best option for us after Connors. But like she said, it was kind of hard to leave this place, you know, and knowing that it was going to be so much different, and you know, it's like I say, maybe better in ways, maybe not, but like I said, right here, you're so close to everybody. I mean, like she said, we're on the rodeo team, and, you know, there's a lot of kids on the rodeo team here, but you get to know everybody. It don't matter if they're a judger, or it don't matter what they are, a baseball player, you got the ability to interact with them and actually get acquainted with them, you know, and that's what I really enjoyed about it, was as many people as we met as many people here as we did in Stillwater, but just was able to do it on a closer scale.
And make connections that you can use for the rest of your life. I mean, when you grow up and you become an adult, you don't realize how important those connections are. I mean, you have friends that are in different trades, and friends that, you know, took all different career paths, and you never know when you might need to call up one of those judges who became a vet, or, you know, just whatever the case may be. So we made a lot of connections here, and it's pretty handy too. I feel like, you know, Miss Rock, she was both of our math teachers. If Sam had a question right now that he needed, you know, a math problem, I'm pretty sure he could still call Miss Rock up, and she'd help him out with how to solve the equation there. So it's just it's hard to explain Connors, but it's definitely made me who I am today, for sure.
It's good. Yeah. It's good to hear y'all say that. I know Dr. Palmer's sitting in on this, but there's a kind of nationwide, there's a little bit of attack on the college experience, and everything that you guys have talked about or the things that we promote about the college experience, and we think we probably do it as good, or at least unique here as anybody else, but it's sure good to hear you say that. What about maybe a couple fun stories or something that you really enjoyed during your time when you were here?
So my nephew goes to school here now, and this is more on the student activity side of it, I guess. But Sam and I were kind of known for dressing up during Halloween, and so we actually take pride in the fact that we won the Halloween dress up competition, and that was at the school dance. So my cousin who goes here now, he's on the rodeo team, and I'm like, you been going to any of them school dances? And he kind of looked at me like I had lost my mind. He's like, school dances? What are you talking about? So the school dances, I guess, might have been a pretty good time for us here. I don't know. I got involved in a lot of student activities, and that's how I met a lot of the kids. I mean, I remember playing volleyball out here on the lawn. Actually, a friend and I were talking about that the other day. She got hit in the head with a volleyball, and we were laughing, bringing it up. Crazy to think that was 10 years ago that happened, but just getting involved in the student activities. I mean, I remember going and sitting at the basketball games with our rodeo kids and, cheering on the basketball team, and they sure appreciated that. And so then when we had our rodeo down here on campus, all the basketball boys showed up to cheer us on. So I guess that just also goes along with being a small school, and how nice it is that you get to be involved in those different things. And there's a lot of stories that we could probably tell about that, but I think that's probably one of my favorite things, is just getting involved. We also got to be a part of the haunted house here. I don't know how we got roped into that, but I got roped into it, so I think I roped Sam into it, and that was pretty memorable, getting to hear a lot of them baseball guys scream as we were chasing them out of there. But I don't know. Do you got
I got a few stories.
A PG story?
I'll probably let them wonder.
Well, I do remember, and this is just off the wall, but the little lake that's up the hill, and for those folks that know, it's not easy to necessarily get down there.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Sam talking about him and a buddy hauling a boat, a little flat bottom boat, and letting it down off the cliffs so they could go down there and go fish. I mean, that's dedicated.
Yeah.
That's dedicated to wanting to fish right there.
Yeah, it's pretty good too. Yeah. I do remember that now. Yeah.
If I had to guess, you probably brought some fish back, and we might have had a fish fry after that or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stories, and as I sit here and I think about it, all of them just kind of start coming back and flooding my memory. We talk a lot about Connors and about the people and the things that we did here, and we definitely smile every time we do, because it.
You know what's funny though is before I was even at Connors, Zadie and I, we grew up 45 minutes away from each other, but we never met.
Yeah.
And I was still going to school at Southeastern, and we're in Garden City, Kansas, at the College Rodeo, and that's where we met. Was in Garden City, yeah. And met there. That was, I guess, whenever the Garden City College Rodeo.
Well, that was in the spring of 2016.
Yeah.
2015. So our freshman year, we met. It's funny. My older brother Tanner, he met his wife here at Connors. She was from Iowa, came down here to College Rodeo and stayed and never went home. My younger brother Tiger, like I said, he was on the rodeo team here. His now wife was on the softball team here. They met at Connors. So, not saying all that to say, come to Connors, you might meet your significant other, but I mean, it has worked out for my family. I mean, we all, as freshmen, met our significant others. So. Yeah.
Well, my story, Sam, and I met my wife here as well, was she finally chased me until I just gave up. That's my story. I'm sure yours is similar.
Yeah.
But.
Yep.
For sure.
And she forced me into I'm glad I did, but she forced me into coming up here that next year, though. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't be the only boyfriend or girlfriend that we were able to recruit through the years. Sometimes it helps. I hit a president up one time and we had and they weren't on the rodeo team. We had 4 or 5 girlfriends that came, or maybe a boyfriend too that came with somebody. I'm like, I'm not getting credit for the extra folks that we're bringing to campus. There needs to be a statistical figure that we can add that, we're not getting credit for that. So
that's funny.
But it's good. Those are good stories. Let's jump to this one, and then we can circle back around. But what about any words of wisdom that you would pass on to, maybe current Connors students or soon-to-be Connors students from you guys have been successful and are just probably only scratched the surface, but junior college, senior college graduates involved in programs, got a nice family going, checking a lot of boxes for young adults. What would you tell the next generation?
Well, I kind of touched on it earlier, just realizing the moments that you're in, and the people that you're meeting and the opportunities that are presenting themselves at the time, whether that's an opportunity that can come to fruition then or 10 years down the road, but realize what's really truly happening for you. And I think that's hard for an 18, 19-year-old kid to really realize that, but you're meeting a lot of people right now that's gonna help you, and you can help them in the years to come. And I just really hope kids realize how good of a time they're having, for one, because they are, whether they know it or not.
Yeah. And
then for two is just realizing what they're actually getting out of the college experience, and your degree is the most important thing. What you're here for, your degree. But I tell you, running very close second is the people you meet, the connections you have, and the opportunities that present themselves through college. And obviously you want that degree, but I've gotten probably as much or more good out of the connections I made than my degree.
That's good.
Yeah. I would agree with that too. I mean, it's what you make it. I mean, you can come and you can go to school here and you can go to class and then leave campus and drive home or go sit in your dorm and, not visit with anybody or not. And I've talked to people who did that, and I will say it was pretty hard for them to stay here or stay at school anywhere. I mean, even at Stillwater, if it's what you make it, you got to put yourself out there. And I know that can be hard, but, even something as simple as if they're having a barbecue on the lawn, like make yourself presentable, go out there and meet some people, because it's all about how you go about it. If you want it to be a good experience, it will be. It'll be one of the best experiences of your life, but you've got to put out a little bit of effort and try, and it'll present itself, and you'll be able to meet some people and do some really neat things if you do that. So
it's good. We'll brag on y'all real quick. First, Zadie, I've got the opportunity to, you mentioned your two brothers. You're my favorite McElhaney, by the way.
Man.
Just so that you know. And you can even tell the two boys that.
I have a feeling they might know that. I might not have been in near as much trouble as what those two were, but their stories might not be as PG as what mine were.
It was a lot of fun. We honestly enjoyed all three of them. And then from personal note, your mom basically taught both of my kids here at high school. Or at the elementary, and you got to teach one of them as well, and so I think that's really cool. Probably doesn't mean anything, but I got the opportunity. Appreciate my kids got to have you guys in the classroom, and so always you guys have always been close to our heart too. And Sam, one thing, and I've obviously never told you this, but it was evident you were an independent thinker when you were here, and you may not have thought I appreciated it at the time, but I've always appreciated that at the time. And I actually told Jake, whatever Sam winds up doing, he's going to figure it out. He's going to be all right. And so it's always fun for us. Dr. Amy was actually talking about it yesterday, when we see former students that are out and they're able to be successful and they're doing well and they're happy. So once again, proud of y'all from my standpoint. Appreciate everything you've done, and we could probably go on visiting for hours, but I want to leave you with this question. We are trying to get some other alumni, and it's evident you guys enjoyed your time here. It's evident that it means something, but we've all got busy lives and things, but we would like to try to engage with some of our more recent alumni and some of our folks that are out there, killing it. We want to tell your stories, and that's part of what we're doing here. So what else do you think we could do as an institution to try to re-engage some of our alumni similar to y'all?
I think really just with you guys reaching out to us, and I think reaching out to younger alumni, I'm feeling older and older all the time, but I realize that we're a little closer to the age group we've got in school now, or maybe graduating high school, but and I think we can really relate to those kids, still yet. I know a lot of things has changed just in the last 10 years, but really I think it's reaching out to some of these younger alumni, even some of these kids that have graduated 3 or 4 years, maybe graduating Stillwater now, or wherever they might have gone after Connors. I think there's a lot of people willing to come back and speak to kids or a thing like this, and put this out there for those younger kids to see, maybe coming out of high school and realize that they can relate to somebody younger, that did already go through the process and see all the benefits they got out of it. And it's really, like I said, I think there's a lot more younger people out there that would be willing to do it. And not necessarily, just somebody like us. We run the sale barn, we're kind of in a niche business, but there's a lot of people that have got really good office jobs or whatever it might be that love their jobs. And they want to maybe highlight what they're doing as well, and some opportunities that's come up for them.
I can think of several people that I think would probably be very willing to come back. And because we were on the rodeo team, I feel like kids that rodeo are more likely to want to watch this, or listen to us talk because that's something they're familiar with. But I mean, I know somebody who was in PLC and that was just what their main focus was, and now they're not president, but pretty involved in a bank. I mean, and they love their job, and I can see that through social media. Social media has been a really big help with that, and I know I'm on social media way more than what I should be, but watching videos and reels and things like that. But I think they'd be willing to do something like that. And then I think I know somebody on a judging team who's a vet now. I mean, I think that just having somebody from different groups that somebody would be more willing to watch, because they could relate to them a little bit more. So, I don't even like sports. I know a softball player who's doing a great things right now. Just having somebody from each group that they could relate to a little bit more might be more.
That's good. We'll maybe pull some names from it.
Yeah, I right now, as you're saying that, I've got like 4 in my head that I think people that would probably love to do something like this and be happy to tell their story, because when they tell their Connors story to me, it was all pretty good. So they'd be happy to share it with others. So, and I want Connors to stay where it is and stay at the top, and I want people to want to come here because I just know how great it was for me, and I know how great it can be for others if they give junior college a chance and realize.
Well, you kind of touched on it earlier too. College has kind of gotten a bad name in certain areas. And maybe for some reasons, maybe rightfully so. But I tell you, if you come to a place like Connors State College, you're going to come here and you're going to be here for the right reasons, and they're going to be teaching the right things to you. It's not a place you got to worry about. Coming and being brainwashed, as they'd say, or anything like that. This is a place you come and you learn what you're supposed to learn, and you meet people that you can relate to. And that's what we enjoyed so much about it, is relatable people, whether that be from the professors or all the way to the students. It's somebody you like to be around and enjoy being around.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, because we paid for several courses in school that weren't quite that way. Not here, but when you go bigger, you go somewhere else, you're paying for something sometimes that you don't necessarily want to be taught, but it's required of you, to go to. Yeah. But I don't know. I appreciate how nice the campus is. Like walking on, I just like looking at everything. It brings back so much memories, and there's been so much work put into campus, even just since we've been here. Like being in this, it's so nice, and I wish that I'd came back sooner to check it all out. I mean, I've never been down to the museum to look. I've got pictures of, I guess my face is maybe painted on the wall in there. I don't know. I haven't actually seen it in person, but I now I'm wanting to call up everybody that we went to school with and have them come and hang out and check everything out with us. So
I want to see this painting now.
yeah. I don't know if I want to or not.
That is, you know, Zadie, you brought that up. You were on a billboard just right out here. That same picture, that's the blessing or the curse for working for marketing.
I don't know.
Well, there was a billboard out here on the highway for a while, and I always threatened I was going to get out there with a marker and draw a mustache on there, but I never did. But I wish I would have,
Yeah,
but
thanks.
I never did. But, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew that I wanted to teach, and I knew that I was going to be having a family soon and working, you know, nights and taking pictures at the games and doing different things like that. And like you said, Sam's always had a business independent mind, and I knew I was going to be helping him one day run some sort of business or empire, or I don't know, keeping his things in line. And so it just wasn't going to work, but I did really enjoy working here, so just as much as going to school here, really. But
Well, it's important for us that our employees and our students, that they find their passion.
yeah,
And so that is, you know, I personally hated to see you go too, but by the same token, was happy that, you know, you're able to find something that you're passionate about and doing. So, all that was great.
I wouldn't have got to be with Lucy if I wouldn't
That's
have.
right. That's right.
Still.
That's right. But we are seriously, whether we're on record or not, proud of you both.
Thank you.
And always take some pride in when somebody brags on you. You know,
Well,
livestock doing good.
Don't
for
listen
you.
to the bad. It's going good. Yeah, the cattle prices are good right now,
Yeah.
but next
Well,
week
that's
or
just
you know, in a
one.
couple of weeks, you might